In this version, this episode, I am going to cover the ground floor. So, we've seen in the previous episodes the living room, which I have reconfigured. I have stuffed, I think, comfortably the stairs to the guest room and the stairs to the master suite living area into the walls, since the walls are about 2 to 2.5 feet thick. I think I'm able to get them in there without them being too short of steps. Ultimately, that will come down to measuring at the time, but even if this needs to stick out just a little bit into the room, I think this is a much better design than the previous one, which had a landing here, which consumed a lot of room in the living room. So this space has been redesigned. But back to the point of this, which is everything under the guest bedroom, the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, the master suite, everything underneath this on the ground floor, we're going to call it. It's not a particularly level set of rooms. These two rooms are at the same rough height. This room, which would be all of the services, the technical room for water pump, etc., electrical, this bathroom, these are on a different level altogether, along with this room. But this one, on the front of the room, all of these used to be stables or stalls and storage of various types as the three different homes came into being. So everything up here, square footage or square meters wise, is duplicated on the bottom. So I will approach this from the same perspective that I did the walking video tour. So the driveway approaches the house this way. These are the stairs going into the front door. So just on the left side of the front, there is just a rectangle. Nothing fancy about this room. There is a nice wide door in it, and there's also one small window at the back. I've put these hovering windows in here simply to represent where they are, since obviously I've left these walls down to illustrate what they, would be otherwise. They would be a complete wall, and you wouldn't be able to see into the room. So, moving around the building, past the staircase, which needs to be rebuilt. There's two windows, a sizable doorway. They're not quite a double doorway, but a sizable doorway, and another window. And these go into one large room with a divider in it. I guess you could call it two rooms. I like to think of it as one because I think this would be a nice workshop, sort of all in one. On this side of the building, there's also a window. So there's 4 windows and a door. So I think this space will get pretty decent light. This is the east. This is going east side of the house. So this would certainly get morning sun. Maybe not so much in the afternoons, but still 4 windows, I think, will provide about as much light, especially to a ground floor or basement, you might want to call it, although it's not underground. More light than perhaps any other room in the house. We've already seen the idea for a bathroom. I did cut a door in here so this can be accessed from outside, particularly from the outside kitchen. On this corner there is a small room, which I don't think I'll ever be able to dig out deep enough to make of a ceiling height capable to sustain anyone standing in. But that's okay because I don't plan on being in this room very often. That's where I will go in, once to install the water pump and water tank, once to have somebody install the electrical, once to install the outlet from the house down the hill to the septic tank. But other than that, I do not plan on using this room for anything meaningful, anything that would ever be used on a daily basis. So it's also worth noting that the line of the ground level, runs about level here until you get just past this door. Then it starts to go up to probably about here, so halfway up the equivalent of that ground floor. And around this side of the building, it continues up from here. So ultimately, the door directly off of the kitchen comes out at, well, it's a little bit lower, but a step or two down from that kitchen door. So that kitchen door is almost at ground level. The ground level kind of gets flat from here all the way across the back of the house. So nice flat here, drops down here, goes from here down to here, and then kind of flat over here, and then flat most of the way across here. Is a little bit of a rise here, which is why the stairs appear to be hovering. On the back side of the house, underneath the tower, so you've got the tower, you've got the roof line, ground level, and in here you've got one large room, which is currently divided by a non-load bearing wall, which would come out. Not to say there wouldn't be some chopping up of this space, but it would be built to purpose, and I wouldn't use what's in there currently. So you got one large room and one smaller room. There is a door on the side here, which allows for passageway to another door in here. So you've got a walkway into and then through, just at the end of this wall, into the other room. So those are the 1, 2, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ground floor rooms of the house. I hope this has helped, and I hope it gives you continued understanding of my thoughts for the property. Let me know if you have any questions.